Peppa and George are sitting on the living room floor, watching TV. The cartoon is strange. The characters look slightly stretched, their movements jerky like an old film reel. The picture flickers with static. Daddy Pig walks into the room and notices something odd. The reflection in the TV doesn't match what's happening in reality. He leans closer. In the reflection, he's staring back at himself. Only, his reflection has no pupils. The screen flickers. For a moment, pure black. Then, a close-up of Peppa and George, but only one eye of each is visible. They just stare, flicker, don't blink. The image begins to shift, as if someone is moving inside the house, slowly and silently. The screen shows the staircase, then the kitchen, then the basement door. No one is touching anything. The remote lies on the floor. The TV shuts off. Complete silence. The dark screen reflects the family, but their reflections stand in different positions with empty eyes. The TV turns back on. Now it shows the attic. There's an old box. The camera zooms in. No writing on it. The lid is slightly open. From the darkness inside, a large, terrifying eye slowly emerges, moving closer to the screen. Shadows in the room begin to twist. From the corners, long, thin shapes stretch out like screaming ghosts. The TV turns off again. At that moment, a blurred silhouette appears on the screen, standing right behind Daddy Pig. He notices it, turns around, but no one is there. They run into the hallway. As they run, the ceiling lights flicker. Family photos hang on the walls, but the faces on them are twisted in horror. Their eyes follow the family, even as they rush past. They lock themselves in the basement. Silence. From an old radio in the corner, not plugged in, a faint static starts. It sounds like breathing. On the floor, a thin gleaming crack appears. The crack widens. Something round begins to rise from it. A huge eye. Soft vibrations pulse from it, making the shelves tremble. As the family backs into the shadows, words begin to appear on the basement wall, as if carved by claws. He's watching you all the time. The screen fades to black. The final frame, an old videotape showing someone holding a camera, walking into the same basement. In the corner, the screaming figures of Peppa's family.
More is needed. A full collection is required.
The fair buzzed with lights and voices. Colorful stalls beckoned with sweets. Peppa pulled Grandpa by the hand toward the brightest stand. The shelves were bursting with Labubu figurines. They all smiled with identical mouths. One golden figurine stood apart. Its crimson eyes followed Peppa's every move, then slowly winked at her. Behind the stall, an emaciated seller looked as pale as paper, their smile frozen too wide with too many teeth. Peppa begged Grandpa to win her a golden figurine. He nodded and moved smoothly. He threw a ball into an arcade machine. The ball hit its target. The figurine dropped into a tray. Grandpa picked it up. His eyes glazed over, and he reached into his pocket, pulling out not just one, but dozens of identical golden labubus that spilled onto the carpet. He whispered endless repetitions.
More is needed. A full collection is required.
Outside, people with prizes froze in place, their faces fixed with empty smiles. Peppa ran into darkness. The alley behind the fair was silent and dark. A flickering street lamp illuminated an ominous figure, that same seller. But now his body consisted of hundreds of fused figurines. They moved and creaked teeth, Clicking nearby stood Grandpa, whose skin had turned gray and hard, the smile frozen forever. He stared blankly through glassy eyes at emptiness. The seller extended his hand, holding one figurine, a face resembling Peppa's with glowing crimson eyes, a mouth stretched into an unnatural grin. Peppa felt icy coldness at her fingertips. The skin on her palm became smooth and glossy. Hundreds of crimson-eyed monsters stared at her. The silence shattered with a sharp click. Peppa wakes up in her room. Outside the window, dawn is breaking. Everything is calm. She plays with George while Mom and Dad are busy with their chores. A strange feeling outside the window. Peppa approaches the window. The sky is gray, foggy. The air is cold. She feels a sense of unease, as if something is watching her. Distortion of reality. She washes her face and looks in the mirror. Her face changes, her eyes darken, and her smile becomes sinister. A cold blue light appears in the room, creating a distortion effect. Suddenly, the mirror cracks and shatters. Shards fall to the floor, and a shadow appears in the reflection, quickly disappearing. The room disappears, an entrance to another reality. Suddenly, objects dissolve or vanish. Peppa finds herself in a gray room with no windows or doors. The walls are covered with mysterious symbols and fingerprints. A faint rustling sound can be heard in the air. Whispers of the past, soft voices. Remember, you're not alone here. All memories are part of you. They grow louder, as if someone is whispering right into her ear. Peppa feels a chill down her spine. Shadows appear. George with empty eyes, Mommy Pig with tears on her face, Daddy Pig breathing heavily, his face distorted by fear. They move or stand still, their shadows stretch across the walls, creating a creepy atmosphere. Peppa realizes the room has remembered all of the characters' fears. She searches for runes or symbols on the walls to understand what's happening. Suddenly, snake-like hands or claws start stretching out from the walls, trying to grab her. The characters begin to disappear or transform into terrifying creatures. George screams about a zombie dinosaur with empty black-red eyes. Mommy Pig cries, and her tears turn into drops of black liquid. Daddy Pig breathes heavily and looks very scared. His face is distorted by fear. At this moment, a sinister bunny appears with glowing eyes and an evil smile, watching everything with malice. Peppa decides to break the runes on the walls with a hammer. When she hits them, the walls crack and vibrate. At that moment, a huge monster emerges from the darkness, a creature with long claws, sharp teeth, and burning eyes. It growls and tries to grab her. After destroying the symbols, everything around plunges into darkness. The monster roars and disappears into an abyss. The room completely vanishes. Only emptiness or endless darkness remains. Peppa returns to her room. Everything seems normal again. But inside her remains a feeling of heaviness and fear. She sits by the window of her house with a pensive expression, gazing into the distance, as if she senses something sinister inside herself or nearby. The family enters a vast Victorian greenhouse. Dozens of pots with exotic plants surround them. In the center rises a wooden sculpture of Labubu holding a flower. A close-up of the wooden Labubu's face. In its bead-like eyes, the shadows of shifting plants are reflected. On the petals of a rare orchid, patterns emerge, resembling grinning Labubu faces. In the heart of the flower, among the stamens, tiny seeds glitter, shaped like miniature Labubus. The leaves on the walls form silhouettes that resemble the family members, but with disproportionately large heads. Drops of condensation slide down the glass ceiling. They merge into patterns that form smiles. The family steps into a closed pavilion. The air is sweet and heavy with the scent of orchids. At the center stands a vase filled with transparent nectar. Inside float tiny labubus, as if made from candied fruit. All the walls are covered with orchids, their petals resembling Labubu's enormous ears. On a gleaming drop of nectar appears the inverted reflection of the family, and each face bears Labubu's features. The roots of the plants intertwine, weaving a web. Faces take shape within its cells. Sprouts begin to push through the floor. They grow rapidly, transforming into stems with lantern-shaped flowers in the form of Labubu. The pavilion door becomes overgrown with ivy. Its heart-shaped leaves fold into the shapes of eyes. The family finds themselves before an ancient tree. In its trunk gapes a hollow shaped like Labubu's wide smile. Inside the hollow lies a nest of intertwined roots. Within it sits a massive Labubu made of living flowers. Petals fall from the branches, forming portraits of the family on the ground, only with plant-like features. The floral Labubu gazes straight into the camera. In each of her flower eyes is a tiny reflection of the family members. The tree's branches bend, forming an arch that leads into the hollow. Roots rise from the earth, gently wrapping around the family's legs, covering them with blooming patterns. The family transforms into living topiary sculptures in the shape of Labubu. Their faces become perfect floral compositions. The great flower Labubu nods slightly, and the garden freezes in eternal balance. Peppa, Zoe, and Candy stayed overnight at school. Flashlights stood on the desks. The children laughed, playing hide-and-seek. The lights began to flicker. Chalk writings distorted, letters twisted, crawling by themselves across the board. The laughter faded. Strange voices softly whispered their names. Red eyes flickered on the walls, watching every movement. Peppa felt an icy chill, her heart racing. Suddenly, a silhouette darted behind her. Red eyes stared straight at her. Peppa, Zoe, and Candy rushed into the hallway. The doors slammed shut on their own. The lamps flickered. Shadows from the ceiling and walls slid down, stretching into tentacles. They moved toward the children, intertwining and writhing. The children ran, the echo of their footsteps blending with a faint metallic hum. A silhouette flashed ahead, its eyes glowing red. For a moment it seemed they had managed to escape it. The children hid behind the tables. The dishes trembled, the space itself seemed to breathe. For a brief moment they calmed down, catching their breath, thinking the danger had passed. But from the corners, the shadows suddenly came alive, wrapping around Zoe and Candy, seeping into their limbs. Their eyes flared red, their movements turned sharp and unnatural. Peppa screamed as shadows reached